Okay, everyone, I'm going to do some more readings because I'm going to deal now with this book, Sex and History by Ray Tannehill, with the issue of, as I discussed, Trobadours and Troubadours, Minnesongers, and other courtly arts. Trobadours, Troubadours, Minnesongers, and other courtly arts, okay? And the interesting statement now is this, as we know, is history tells you. Once again, the rich and leisure court of Burgundy, okay? Once again, as you can tell, the finest are dressed, the finest women. This is a known rule. The finest women are drawn to the men of higher income and taste. And money tends to be a bigger determining factor than looks, okay, as this is known, okay. Finance is pivotal, okay. And then ladies at lesser courts were neither as winsome, being attractive, nor as well dressed. As you can see, they look quite less attractive, harsh. They reflect a dismaler look, less attractive, as if they have a look on their face that I'm not expecting as much as those most beautiful women. And really, with a lot of them, it's like, you know, blah blah. You can see, like, it's just not all that for us. Okay. So once again, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a reading, and then I'm gonna discuss this and let you know what I'm trying to talk about. Here we go. Especially for the ladies themselves, who often lived a monotonous existence with their lord and his entourage away from home, and only youthful squires and impoverished knights for company. Such ladies, who were the true troubadours' paying audience, wanted to hear love songs that had some meaning for them, and the troubadours obliged by evolving the convention of a great lady loved by a romantic hero of lower rank, right, like me, who struggles to become worthy of her, and with whom at last she falls in love. Yeah, so for me now, being of outrageous royal blood, even celestial royal blood, even, that's literally my hope. If whatever comes first, income or the beloved of the highest rank, as you all know. Okay, as a storyline, it had a good deal of potential, but it seems to have landed some of the troubadours in trouble. It was customary for the love songs to be written in the first person, and this made it rather too easy for the lady to assume that the troubadours himself were romancing her. Yes, was the lover, telling her in verse what he dared not say in prose. Right. In imminent danger of becoming peripatetic gigolos, the troubadours, some of them at least, began to look around anxiously for a harem substitute bastion capable of being scaled by man but not demolished by woman. Frankly, this stuff's kind of funny, but the big thing I've read in here is the same problem we have now is the struggle between your moral conviction, love, and sex, and becoming wanton and ratchet. And when you cross the line from eros to rot, okay, eroticism to porn, and when you need to live on the erotic side of the gate, but yet you have to think that even as erotic, this is the construct is, eros is really when you're going to be as wanton as you are loyal for your lover. That's the thing you got to think about. That was the high standard that God gave Azazel's 7 glorious goddesses that he murdered for chauvinistic, militaristic vainglory, okay, and sacrifice rather than obeying his own passions and desires, you know, and theirs. 7 perfect, glorious goddesses Azazel had, the original Alita, battle angel that ruled the 12 multiverse universe and protected it. And once again, I'm referring to him only to think about this. The key is this. The ideal woman is, as we know, the blend of angel and devil, and the ideal man has to be her opposite but equal. The problems we men continue to have, and then we pass on our hypocritical disease to women, is we keep wanting something we're not. And then we want what we will not reciprocate, okay? Then we dish out what we can't take, okay? And then we want what we're not willing to give. If you men want to admit that you're the ones that ruin things, most of the men, you're still running this world, then you need to admit you're responsible, where your power is your responsibility. So in the end, we're going to have to admit that because we have the power and pay your cost to be the boss, We're responsible for what goes on below us. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So you can't have this double world where everything's the woman's fault, but then you have all the power. You can't have it both ways. The men of this world have continued to live in this false form of hypocrisy. You can't have it both ways. Then you want to dish out disrespect, then you can't take it. Then you want all this love from people under you, but you don't want to reciprocate. Specifically, those who you would call your most significant other, your sex partners, intimates, at worst. This is where the male gender has a problem. This is what all the books on feminism are complaining about. Every book is telling you the same problem. It's called hypocrisy. It's not what the gods do. Small doesn't practice that with Satan. Zeus does not do that to his Shaddai goddesses. The most powerful and the greatest of the good of the angels, Saint Michael, all the archangels don't do that to their lovers and their beloveds. Yes, they have sex as well. Sex is a celestial act. It was passed down to us. It's not something that we do alone, okay? Angels have sex. It's superior. The god, Zeus has sex. Zeus, Yahweh, with Hera, Ishtar, Shagar, Isis, the Shaddai goddesses. You need to learn that, okay? But the point is this. The male gender of our species, on our part, chivalry is really so much about not just being a hypocrite and just keeping the royal law. It's as if you really love women and rave over them and crave them like you do, you need to just take minor steps to just be fair-minded. If you're just fair with a woman, you would be okay. If you just be willing to follow the rules, what? Don't tolerate what you're not willing to do. It just has to be equal. In the end, what the woman says about equality still rules because it's the royal law. It comes back to the law of God, the Bible. Okay? But when you men continue to fight, the woman escalates the fight, and then it turns to just kind of a battle. Then it gets worse and worse. As men, the scripture says, we can make the peace. Just like the song War of Hearts, if we just were willing as a male gender across the board to make the peace, things would work out. If we stop fighting with the woman and just are willing to just say, okay, it comes back to what y'all claim you believe in. You like treating people like want to be treated, but you refuse to this day to treat the female like you treat the male. You're too busy with the power play to be fair. Your power keeps you from being fair. So you're driven by the storm of being obsessed with being in control. So then what? You're not in love, and then she's not either. Okay? So then you just have a minimal, diminished form of sex, F-U-C-K-ing, and so you want to glorify and impose this inferior sexuality. So the standard remains the same. It's going to be Eros Paradisos, pleasure oblivion, infinity blessings forever, ac pugnio abysmos, pain oblivion ever. The standard that God set is for us, and if you reject it, it's not going to change. You will be in the abyss. It's going to be pain oblivion for all involved. It will never change. That's the standard that was set by all the gods. It's the mandate of heaven. It's forever.